Hey BookTube, it's Mike, and today I am here to film my May wrap-up. Almost said June. I'm still kind of in this mindset of I keep jumping forward a month, but this is my May wrap-up. So for May, how many? I don't even remember how many I read. So I think 7 books and 1 comic that I read in the month of May. So that's what we're going to be wrapping up today. So I'm just going to pull from the stack like I usually do, and we'll just kind of go through it pretty quickly this month, if I can get it. So the first is actually a duology, which is upside down. The Six of Crows duology with the black and red pages, because I could not help myself but to go ahead and buy the whole box set, which is very lucky because you just stick it on your shelf like that, which is very nice. For these, I believe I gave them both 5 stars. I could be mistaken. I read these very early on in the month, so I did enjoy them. They were a nice, another good glimpse into kind of the Grisha-verse, and I did enjoy that. I marathoned all of the Grisha-verse books over the past 2 months, so I kind of just stayed in that one little grouping. The next thing on this stack is just a random item that we picked up at a Barnes & Noble, and that is Damned. I think it's actually Damned 3 if you go look it up, because it is basically a kind of a mafia demon story. I did enjoy it. I think Whitney enjoyed it a bit more than me. I think it's like 20 pages, but it's fun. It was definitely interesting and different than I was, and kind of going into that, I didn't really think it was going to be what it was, but I did enjoy it. It is something I would recommend people pick up just as one of those more unknown items that maybe should get a little more exposure than I've seen from it. And if you've read it, let me know what you think about it, because it was just something we randomly found. Next was a new release from Victoria Scott, which is Violet Grenade. I picked this one up. I follow Victoria Scott on Twitter and Instagram, and she's just a fun character to kind of keep an eye on out there. But this story, you follow Domino, Kane, and Wilson, who is actually also Domino, which was a lot of fun for me, and I was reading this, kind of enjoying it, and there's a lot of Southern information in there that I found very refreshing, to see words that I use in daily life living in the South and understand that you don't see very often in many novels out there, or even graphic novels, comic books. You don't see Southern life portrayed quite accurately anywhere, but in here there were some very, very accurate points that made me start laughing, and I do believe I've convinced Whitney to also read this because of one word: Bluebell. And if you know anything about the South, that is an honest truth. We love our Bluebell here in the South, and there's Bluebell in this book. So I highly recommend people go pick this one up. It is a bit more romancy, but there's kind of like, in my opinion, some mental health things. I would give a trigger warning along with this book for sexual assault, cutting, and just some other information. I'll probably try and make a little link for all the trigger warnings I would give for this. There are quite a few, but it's got some mental health points in it, and I enjoyed it. Next was a book that I actually attempted to read probably about a year ago or so. I picked it up thinking, oh, it looks quick and everything, I'll go ahead and read it, and I never made it through. I think I made it like 20 pages in and just kind of got bored, but I did go ahead and read it this past month, which was Neil Gaiman's The Ocean at the End of the Lane, and I want to say I gave this 3 or 4 stars. It's enjoyable, but it's not what I was really looking for. I was just trying to really add something to my list of things that I had read. I wanted to get through this. It's been on my TBR for, like I said, at least a year. So I just went through, read it really quick, and I enjoyed it, but it's not something I would say, oh yeah, this needs to be read. So I wouldn't highly recommend this one. I would recommend a few other books prior to this. Next is one, I guess I'm always going to have that one that I did not enjoy at all during my month, and that one for me was Anne Rine's Anthem, which is like a classic dystopian, which I love dystopian, I always have, since middle school, but this particular book, I did not enjoy this at all. It's kind of told in a journal point of view, and it seems like I don't enjoy those very much. So, journal points of view and dystopian for me, obviously, are a no. So, like I said, 2 stars on this one. Would I recommend it? No, not at all. I would not recommend that one. I know other people do, but I do not. Next, I hauled this, I believe, the month before, and I went ahead and read it this month, which is the first book in the Unwanteds, which is by Elisa McMann. I enjoyed this, and of course, enjoying a middle grade series like this was another reason for people to tell me, oh, well, if you enjoyed that, you should go ahead and read. I'm not even going to put the series name in, but you can guess. This follows 2 young twins, and of course, they're completely different, as twins are. And they live in Quill, which is a land in which, if you are artistic at all, you are disposed of. Well, it turns out you're saved when you get disposed of. And they go to this school, this magical land in which they get to live, and the 2 brothers, of course, they're in different worlds now, but still the whole story connects. So I do plan to continue on with this. It was a lot of fun, and it's really fast. I mean, for a middle grade, it is a little bit thicker, but it was really quick to get through, and I did enjoy it. So I will carry on with this series. Of course, I mentioned I marathoned Leigh Bardugo's Grishaverse. So at the beginning of the month, I believe this was my first book of the month, was Ruin and Rising in the Shadow and Bone trilogy, as they've named it now that the new covers will be coming out. I enjoyed it. I did not like the ending as much as I liked the rest of the series. So for me, Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom kind of really saved this, because the ending I was torn with it. And I don't want to give too much away in case people haven't read it. Just that ending, for me, it was not my ideal ending to the series. So that is all that I have read this month. I know I kind of rambled through, went really fast, but I have a lot of things going on right now, and a lot of things to film for you guys, because I also have to do a book haul for this month, and it's going to be fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, and you're not already subscribed, please hit that button down below, give me a thumbs up, and find me on my other social media links, which will be linked down below in the description box. Thank you guys for watching.